All right, everyone. Next, we have a presentation lined up, SAP presentation by Mr. Hemchandra Pandit Lokhande, Director Technology and Architecture, Global Pre-Sales, Procurement Solutions, SAP. Please welcome him with a big round of applause, everyone. Mr. Hemchandra is a technology architect and director for Asia Pacific and Japan Finance and Spend, specializing in SAP spend management and AI-driven procurement solutions. With a distinguished career spanning technology, consulting, and enterprise solutions, he has been at the forefront of driving digital transformation in procurement. A graduate of IIM Mumbai, Mr. Hemchandra brings a strong foundation in business strategy, enterprise technology, and AI-enabled procurement transformation. His ability to bridge technology and business needs makes him a trusted advisor for organizations seeking to modernize their procurement processes. Once again, please applaud and welcome Mr. Hemchandra, everyone.
Hello, and a warm welcome from my side as well. I think the initial presentation, we more talk on the business side, right? So we have a hospital supply chain case study, we have ESG subject that has been spoken about. My job is to walk you through all the SAP solutions and how we are incorporating AI into our day-to-day businesses, the way we offer the solution to our customers, right? But before that, I would like to talk about one incident last week. So last week, one of the Southeast Asian customer RFP meeting I was attending, and in that meeting, the CIO and CPO, they laid down an evaluation criteria of software vendors where they put the highest weightage to AI investment. So service provider or software service provider who has invested in AI and who has number of features on AI right now available is being given the highest weightages. And when we ask why it is so, they said, and everyone is investing in AI, so we would also like to invest in a software vendor who is already invested so that we get a faster ROI. And with that conversation in mind, I was trying to do my own analysis. I did research for a few of the big names, big brand names like Walmart, Amazon, and OpenAI or ChatGPT for that matter, right? I was just doing an analysis, how much time did it take for each of these organizations to reach 1 billion of valuation, right? So a traditional retail industries, Walmart, it took 40 years to reach to $1 billion mark. Amazon, the e-commerce application, major, it took sheer 4 years of time to reach to $1 billion of valuation. And the OpenAI, initially it was a non-profit organization, later on they went public and they started with the ChatGPT, and it took only 2 months of time for them to reach 100 millions of users and maybe a year's time frame to reach to the $1 billion valuation. Now these numbers may not be accurate, but directionally it conveys the message that what earlier used to happen in years and months, now the things are happening in days. And AI is the backbone of everything. The technology is the backbone of everything. And it is no more an optional thing, it's an imperative. If we lose out, then we are out of the competition very fast. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what my topic is, to introduce you how SAP has invested into the AI, into every facet of our solution. Right? But before that, let me also talk about the DNA of our solution, right? So before we infuse the AI into our end-to-end solution, there are certain key ingredients that what we feel should be having into our solution, right? So the entire length and breadth and the depth of the solution, right? How do you carry out your planning? How do you analyze your spend? Then you carry out your strategies. Then you actually go on to the execution of sourcing contracts, buying, deliver. You finally pay your invoices. So it should cover the entire length, breadth, and the depth, including the industry-specific nuances That is the solid foundation of our spend management application. Topping that, we also ensure that the analytics is there into our software, and it should not be just an operational analytics, it should be an AI-driven analytics. So, any software without analytics is futile. We have invested into AI, into the analytics part of entire application stack. So it's not only just generate the out-of-the-box operational report, but it should also generate the insights that you may not even know, but they are there, and we use AI power to unlock those insights for you. If you see on the top layer, it is a persona, right? So software in cloud world, we believe that usability drives the adoption, and for the usability, we have to think of each and every persona who is going to use our software. It could be a casual user, it could be an operational buyer, it could be a strategic purchaser, it could be CEO, and so well, it could be a supplier. The supplier could be, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, every type of supplier. He may be IT savvy, he may not be IT savvy. So our software is designed to use by each and every persona. We are trying to address the challenges associated with every persona, right? And if you see the foundation of our applications and the basic ingredients, it is to be for all type of spend. It could be your direct spend, it could be your indirect spend, it could be your contingent services, it could be your travel, it could be expenses. No matter what type of spend it is, our solution should be able to provide you the right processes and the objective that you try to achieve through our softwares as well, right? And once we have the entire foundation ready, it's time for us to apply AI into each and every facet. So we are not only talking about the processes, we are also talking about the UX part of it. So user interacts with the application through the user interface, and what if we apply the AI into the way how we are interacting with the solution as well, right? And Nikhil has talked about the co-pilot on that. So we are also going to see some of the demos onto the co-pilot, how it is really going to ease the life of a software user as well. Right. So when we talk about AI, we are going to use interchangeably two terms. One is the classic AI, and which is based on the machine learning, right? So machine learning use cases are, we are scanning an invoice, and there is some field missing. The system is suggesting the inputs towards that, right? We have a lot of resumes received, and we want to rank them automatically. So that those are the classic AIs. Or you have the entire supply chain across the globe. So for every supplier, no matter which corner of your world is, we are running those, risk-related engine. It could be environmental risk, financial risk, bankruptcy risk, or there is a lockdown. We will tell you first by parsing through various media sources, etc. Right? So those are typically the traditional AI use cases which are there into our system. And then there are other type of use cases like generative AI-based use cases. Right? One example is if we have a contract manager in our organization, and typically those 400 pages document that he need to pass through, and if he asks a question, which are the clauses which are really related to indemnity, then he has to manually read through all the clauses and then find out, okay, these are the 4 clauses. So what if we provide that assistance via our AI applications, and gives you a ready-made summary of the contracts, right? And there are many other use cases, right? We have a Kell procurement, which is high frequency and very low value. So why can't the system automatically club all those requisitions, processes them, applies the sources of supplies based on the logic that we have put in, right? So one of the example of the RPA that was being talked about, that there is a drug being, and then you have to have a complementary drug for that. So similar thing can be done, that we can based on our priorities, the supplier can be assigned, and finally you get an outline agreement, a contract or a PO, available with you, right? Or even for that matter, the AI will negotiate with your suppliers as well and give you the results of your sourcing activities, right? So with that, let me just walk you through the actual system and show you some of the AI applications as well. And the first application that we are going to see is on the spend analysis or the spend control tower, right? I think the biggest challenge in having analytics in place, so every organization wants to be resilient nowadays, but in order to be resilient, they have to know what is their entire spend end to end. The challenge with that is the actual spend data is residing in multiple systems, right? It's not only a single system that you want to fetch the data, it is residing in multiple systems. Now you need to extract that data from multiple systems to a single common layer. Maybe change the formats also of the spend because each system having their own format. Then you identify duplicates data, and then on top you start classifying the data. Right? It takes several months or years, and at the outcome of that even may not be so effective as well. Right? So what if you are being given an AI edge to address this real-time business challenge? Right? So let me show you how SAP is addressing this challenge with the help of AI. Right now on the screen what we see is the AI-driven, classified, AI-driven, enriched spend as well. You might need to import some of the external market intelligence data, diversity-related data, ESG-related data. So all that is being done with the power of AI engine. It will pass through each and every line item, each and every invoice, each and every PO. You don't have to worry on the classification. You don't have to worry on the deduplication also. It will be the AI which will be doing that job, and it gives you the real-time insights as well. So some of the insight could be which are the categories which are too less suppliers. Some of the categories we are having too many suppliers, right? So too many suppliers is the basis for us to really carry out some of the saving by negotiating only limited set of suppliers. Too less suppliers is a risk post that we are having to our entire supply chain as well, right? So all these out-of-the-box insights reports also you don't have to develop. The system has already developed and it's flashing out to you in the matter of seconds as well. Since we talked about sustainability also, right? So, there are certain scope 3 related sustainability reports you get out of the box. Out of the box means every organization has challenges and the goals envisaged to reduce their carbon footprints. And if you have a spend visualized at one common place, at one common place, you can then derive the scope 3 emission data from the space, which is almost 90% footprints of your organization's sustainability related activities. And then once you have the spend visualized, you have a scope 3 emission visualized, and you can decide which are the objectives or KPI you can set for yourself, or how you can be environmentally more responsible, socially more responsible as well, right? So let me show you some of the scope 3 emission related reports as well, right? Typical challenge again in the scope 3 emission is the lack of the data, right? So what if we ask artificial intelligence to augment that data based on your industry vertical, based on the type of material that you are consuming, right? It will generate some of the benchmark and the data as well and give you even more accurate view of the entire scope 3 emissions as well, right? Now once we have the entire spend visualized, the kind for a category manager to strategize for his or her own category. Now the challenge associated with the category manager is he again has to go through a lot of structure as well as unstructured data, and all the processes are manual, right? So what if we again use the AI to solve this problem of category manager manually passing through various structured, unstructured data and then coming up with his own category strategy. So let me show you how we are using some of the AI tools which are going to help our category manager. Excuse me. Can you hear me? There is no screen refresh happening. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. Yeah. So on our screen, we see this is the screen or this is the solution that a category manager would be using to strategize for his category. And as a part of those activity, they need to first identify what is the market position of my category, what are the internal forces, what are the external forces, how complicated the supply chain is. And then he need to estimate on the cost structure. So once I go to the market, what are the key factors those are driving the cost of the item that I'm going to procure from the supply chain, to procure from the suppliers, right? So here, the category manager is trying to create a category segmentation, right? If he's clicking on the category segmentation, this is the live system that we are seeing actually, right? So what we need to showcase is there are multiple things that a supplier needs to, the category manager needs to add, right? So what is the business impact? What is the complexity of the supplier market? And there are certain reasoning also that fairly he needs to put in. And what we see on the screen is the generate button, and that generate button is nothing but the AI power that we are giving or empowering our category manager. And the moment the category manager clicking on the generate button, you can see that otherwise it would have taken months or days at least to generate this matrix. Now with the click of the button, we see the entire market segmentation for the category, right? Whether it's a strategic category, whether it's a bottleneck category, whether it's a primary category, and based on that, the entire my strategy would change. If it is a bottleneck, I would rather speak with fewer set of suppliers and try to have a long-term contract to save on my risk related to supply chain. If it is a strategic category, I would rather go with the reverse auction. I'll put the entire suppliers onto the competition, let them fight with each other and give me the right value for the categories that I am trying to purchase, right? So what we have seen is that with the click of button, the entire matrix is getting populated as well. Now, the category manager also needs to know about the cost, right? So there could be raw material cost, there could be transportation cost of a particular item that he is trying to procure, and it also the benchmarks of that cost also varies based on various structure. And what I'm trying to show is there is a cost structure here, and the category manager is trying to create a cost as well. Again, you will find that we have provided or equipped with an AI power to our category manager that he can simply click on the generate button, and the moment category manager is generating the button, in the back end, the AI engine is getting the data from various sources, various benchmarks. Again, those are region specific as well. And what on the screen we see is the cost structure getting populated within the matter of seconds, and we can see that there is a labor cost, there is a manufacturing cost, there is a project management cost, logistics, and so on, a packaging related cost as well. Right? So this is the power of AI that we are giving and empowering our personas that I talked at the beginning. Now, we have strategized, we have analyzed the spend, we have strategized for our category. The time for all of us to actually soil our hands, the category, the sourcing manager, the contract manager, they will start with the execution activities. And let's see now how the AI is going to really help you into our routine sourcing related activities.
SAP AI helps you simplify and optimize all of your processes, save time, and raise efficiency. If you're a sourcing manager, it's not enough to simply find suppliers and prices anymore. Your organization is looking for sustainable savings and opportunities to reduce spending. But finding preferred suppliers to help you achieve that can be extremely time-consuming. SAP Ariba Sourcing, powered by SAP's Business AI, can help you optimize your company's sourcing needs. It not only recommends preferred suppliers based on your preferences and past transactions, but also suggests questions to include in your request for a proposal. Here's how it works. The sourcing manager enters all the information for the item they're looking to purchase. For even faster processing, they can upload a spreadsheet that contains all items and questions to suppliers. The machine learning algorithm identifies the content and seamlessly merges it into the request. In the background, the AI generates a list of preferred suppliers for these transactions. All recommended suppliers are displayed, including the item that they're best suited for. The sourcing manager can now select which suppliers they would like to proceed with. Next, the sourcing manager can add specific requirements, inquiries, and questions to be included in the request. Powered by AI-generated content recommendations, the system can automatically propose questions that will ensure that the quality and expectations on demand will be met by the supplier. When satisfied, the sourcing manager can then publish the event to the invited suppliers. Powered by AI, SAP Ariba Sourcing automatically recommends suppliers and relevant inquiries for any requests early on to help you realize your business's true potential.
Absolutely. So far what we have seen is how the AI is helping us, the category manager, the spend control tower analytics related activities, and to the last level of execution also, that the system is automatically suggesting based on the goals of the organization, some of the suppliers. If we are missing on something while creating an RFP, the system is actually suggesting that these recommendations are going to be helpful from achieving your goals as well, right? So far, all the innovations that we have seen are actually released to the customer. We are also going to see what are our upcoming innovations as well, and what Nikhil also in the morning mentioned about SAP Joule, right? So SAP Joule is an AI-powered Copilot. We have a tie-up with Microsoft Copilot as well, and for that matter, almost 22 large language model service providers as well, who are training, who are actually analyzing how the various end users are using the systems. And we are planning to automate 80% of the transactions that an end user is carrying out into an entire SAP stack, right? It may be S4HANA, it may be Ariba, it may be Fieldglass, it may be Concur. So 80% of the transactions we have been analyzed, and the bot is being trained to carry out those 80% of the tasks, so that there is a huge productivity improvement when our end users are consuming our solution, when the end users are actually using our software, right? So one of the example is, right, so here we are using Joule to create an RFP. So system is asking them whether it's RFP, RFI or auction. The Joule has already created an event based on the input that is being given, that RFP. Now, system is asking, I need to add the items. System is recommending, is that the item that you want to add to your sourcing event, right? Followed by, they want to add now the supplier. Once you have added the item, the time is to add the suppliers also. System is giving based on history that these are the preferred supplier for this particular item. On top, the system is also recommending that if you have goals for, let's say, sustainability or lowering your carbon footprints, why not add these 3 suppliers as well? And yes, the sourcing manager is just clicking on one of the supplier, and your direct sourcing or the sourcing event is being created, right? So with the click of the button, we are making the system even more autonomous. We are trying to reduce the burden from an end user. The way he is interacting, we are inputting the AI, artificial intelligence on that. And as a result of that, there is a great productivity improvement, and the users can focus on more strategic tasks than the day-to-day operational tasks as well. Right? Many other activities related to the AI possibilities, right? So here the system is even recommending that for this particular event, you should use this type of template, and there are, let's say, there are few suppliers. You should go for an email-based bidding because there are suppliers who are always responded well within the time frame as well. So even if you go on the email bidding, there are high possibility that you get responses on time. Right. Similarly, we can just simply write in a plain English, like end user is just typing that I want to procure this item, and accordingly, the system will process, the Copilot Joule will process what you require, and that's another example of productivity improvement for your casual user. And going forward, with the help of the Copilot Joule, you don't have to spend too much time on training. Everything will be done with the help of such Copilots as well. Now, since we talk about processes and we also talk about the user interface, right? So let me also share the information that SAP is the only company which is investing in the UX layer as well as the underlying application layer and creating a foolproof security model also, so that there is whenever you are trying to get the data queried into your application layer, database layer, there won't be any issues in terms of security as well. And going forward with a lot of regulations coming in India, if you try to build an additional AI layer on top without not knowing what is the data model, what is the security behind it, there are high chances that we might land up in few of the troubles as well. So on the screen, what we see is our next-gen UI, right, which is AI-enabled again, right? There is a Joule Copilot right there, a lot of other productivity-related things. Let me explain you in detail how these things work, right? So this is a one SAP UI that every customer going forward will be getting. Some part of that is already available. Some part we are trying to build the Joule Copilot, right? So what a customer is required, right? So all these applications like catalog, category management, supplier dashboard, should cost analysis are there on a single page. What is required? You can see also there is a live feed. If there is a category manager who is trying to procure the chemical, maybe oil and oil-related information is required for him to know on a real-time basis. So we have this live feed also being provided to a category manager, or for that matter, every end user based on his business requirements, right? Then we also have a single access point, no matter what type of application it is, SAP S4HANA, or SAP Ariba, SAP Fieldglass, SAP Concur, or for that matter, any third-party application and even business technology platform. All the applications are available at one place based on his role, based on his day-to-day task as well, right? And the system is learning from the user interaction of that user, where he's clicking, based on whatever development happening within the organization, and also suggesting some of the personalized activities also. There is a to-do list also in terms of my inbox, and what we see here is a personalized Joule assistant, which is there to help and improve the productivity, the way we are interacting, the end users are interacting with the systems as well. Right? Yeah, please. Yes, the answer is absolutely yes. Right, so what is a Joule? Joule is a trained Copilot. The moment you train the Copilot to create the item creation, yes, absolutely it can be used.
Because item codification for engineering items, it takes a long time for us.
Yes,
to fit in SAP 40 characters.
Yes.
That is a major job where we are spending much time. And vendor registrations, following up with vendors, getting the things done, how this will help?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, behind the scene works is the iterative process, right? So you first need to train the Copilot, and once the Copilot is trained, the logic is built, right? So even the same thing I would say spend classification, right? So there is a laptop, and then you want to classify into a particular category, but we train the system that this particular laptop needs to classify as a material category, let's say raw material or semi-finished or finished product based on your need. Same way, you can train. It's a Copilot. Underline it is following the machine learning model, and machine learning model always needs to be trained first. The results are, let's say, 85% accurate. Next time you train, the probability of giving you the the successful result increases to let's say 95, and so on, it reaches to 97 and 98 as we keep using it. So yes, the answer is absolutely yes. It also, on us how we train our co-pilot. Thank you. Yeah.
Myself, hello.
Yeah.
Not for the direct. That is what is my thought process.
Yeah.
So, is there any way that we can utilize the way we are utilizing for indirect? Can we do it for direct materials also?
Yes, absolutely. I think that is the perhaps misconception being there in the market. So, if you see, and if I go back to my North Star slide, right? So, we talk about direct as well as indirect, and specifically the way direct procurement happens, there is a lot difference between the way you consume or procure the indirect one, right? So, one example in industry machinery component or automotive component, just giving an example.
So, point here is, I'm not talking, you are given the examples for pumps, everything. I know it will work there. Let's take about the raw materials, packaging materials, right?
Yes.
In that, whether it can do or not. Why I'm saying you? Because we are trying to implement, right, this now, at this point of time. But the system which we are using now is very much having less touch points, as well as it is giving us the output in less time. When I go with Ariba, it is taking more touch points, many more, right? Instead of, if the current is 15, then in Ariba it is 35. Time is taken for the current is 6 to 8 minutes. When I go for Ariba for one SKU of packaging, it takes around more than 25 minutes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is where we are trying to address the challenge. So yes, even the same thing what we see here with the help of co-pilot.
Okay.
Basically what it is doing, you are training a person to add some of the fields. So what if that training activity, the user inputting the fields can be automated? Yes, that can be automated. And then you just train, there is a logic, these are the preferred supplier, this is the category, this is the template. We have seen that. It can suggest the templates also. You can override that, but the system can suggest the template, right? So if you know the template, you know the supplier, you know the item, you know the event rules, even though those are being proposed, you can definitely train the
Our
entire
company
sourcing
PwC is working on that. We
Yes.
have hired them, right, for doing this activity.
Absolutely, a very valid question, and these are the ground realities, and that's why we talk about the personas also.
Because I have not got the answer till time, so I thought let me ask you the question.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you.
So sourcing co-pilot is there and definitely is going to solve your problem of reducing the preparation timeline. Yeah, thanks.
Just to add to what Hemant is telling, particularly there's a kind of understanding as far as indirect material is concerned. Ariba undoubtedly started with indirect material, but there are certain modules or there are certain capabilities which tackle the supply kind of variabilities. In the sense, there's a module called supply chain collaboration which talks to the upstream partners of the supply chain, all the PO confirmations or the forecasting collaborations, where the real meat or real challenge in the supply chain till it hits our doors are concerned. If that variability can be addressed, and if it can be coupled with the supply lifecycle management, and if we weed out the risky suppliers, that's going to strengthen, or at least it's going to ensure your supply chains. So yes, it can be applicable for the direct materials, and also it can bring in a lot of other capabilities to bring in the visibility and also collaborative capabilities with the upstream partners. Just to add to what Hemant has said. Thank you.
Sure.
Is there any standard libraries are available for the low carbon consumption products better system? Suggest it basically which product is better for you, like we are buying industrial pumps and motors and other things, DG sets.
Yes, absolutely.
Or it should be a country specific, at the same time it should be like a sector specific.
Yes, absolutely. I think we have those libraries also, right? So what we do is we analyze your entire spend, no matter from which scheme. Now for every spend line, there is a material. For every material, we get a scope 3 emission data. No, that is the data enrichment part that we are talking about. And if there is a data by any chance is missing, we ask AI based on the industry benchmark to augment that data. And then you get the complete visibility, and then you can slice and dice that data based on region, based on supplier, based on material category as well, right? So then you have the data with you, and you can, the visualization then is up to you, and then you can visualize it till your product level, till your product group level, or till your supplier and the region level also.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
One question and one add-on. is even more beneficial in comparison with indirect while we are using, because one time it is taking long time. But generally in any organization, while you are doing direct spend, you have much more predictable data available. So while you feed that data, the number of variabilities are less, and then your management becomes more implementation. I am an user who is using it for direct. Yeah. Correct. 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 So that is more about implementation, customization about your use case than the standard system. They can customize it based on your requirement. That's one part. And the second question was the madam asked about the material code. So is it removing the requirement of MDG module? Can I do it in Ariba?
Sorry, can you please repeat the question?
My question is, madam asked about the vendor registration and the material code creation.
Right.
I am very well aware about the vendor registration because it is a standard functionality of Ariba. You can do it. My question about material code registration. Can I avoid MDG, Master Data Governance Module as you call it? Can I avoid it and do it on Ariba? I assume that your entire presentation is only about Ariba.
Yes, about spend management.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So for material creation, we have a business AI services, right? So our entire Ariba AI is based on the business AI services, right? The same business AI services are also available for customer to consume additionally. And you can then consume those business AI services to create certain tasks like material code creations as well. And you train the system gets trained, gives you the result, you refine it, and then the integration happens.
Like a low-code, no-code programming on a platform or something like that? All right, thank you.
Thanks. Right. And this is the question. Maybe I would like to also show you that these are actually live data as well of scope 3 emission, and we can see that the scope 3 emission by categories, by product, by suppliers as well, right? So that all this license guys, or maybe for your entire organization, year-on-year basis as well, right? Those are really for the visualization. Sure.
In category management, you have given category managers. How it connects to LMEs, like suppose I have cables category. It depends on copper LME price.
Yes, absolutely.
So how that get connected to this Copilot Julie?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have trained our own AI engine, right? Based on the category. Let's say it's a petrochemical. Maybe then we get data from the petrochemical or the oil index related things. If it is a metal, then maybe London metal index is the data source. And we also have a tie-up with certain information provider, right? So Bureau is one of them, which gives us the industry-specific benchmark, and those benchmarks are really region-specific. One example is if you are trying to get the cost structure of a rubber. Now rubber is being procured from Malaysia or from India. There is a different cost. Even if you try to procure some item from North India versus South India, there are different costs that you are getting as well. So all those region-specific benchmark, you get it from Bureau, and we have a tie-up that, whenever you click on the cost structure button, the Bureau, we get the data from Bureau, which is they are expert in such benchmark data. We just consume them based on the category, based on the region, based on maybe on the suppliers also, right? Sure. Thank you. Any further questions? I think we are almost end of the presentation, but I need to still cover a couple of more slides. Okay. Now, so far what we have seen, the AI in the business process application, AI into the user interfaces. Now, what about the AI in the way you approach the transformation itself, right? So when we start with any transformation, we need to know how my current as system is structured. I need to know the digital footprints of my existing system, right? And the decision that we make in the transformation journey or the start of the transformation journey, the decision maker really need to know on the fact rather than relying on the gut feeling, right? And this is where our process mining solution, Signavio, which is loaded with AI power as well, going to help us, right? So, first you need to know your digital footprints, how you are structure your AI system. And during the transformation, we also take a lot of decisions. Now those decisions could be structured, unstructured. So what if the AI enablement or AI power is given during the transformation itself, right? So example is, what is my best process? What is my best practice process rather that I should be following? What are the KPIs associated with that? And what is the industry benchmark for that KPI that I should be adhering to? So all that information is also provided to you for enabling you to achieve the right goals or setting forward the right goal of the transformation. And once you go live, you change the system. It is not end of the transformation, rather it is the beginning of the transformation. And then on a continuous basis, you need to know whatever objective that we have envisaged during our initial days of transformation are getting monitored and adhered to, and we are achieving them as well, right? So I would like to highlight another video as well, right? So this is the AI power co-pilot within Signavio, and the end user is asking what is the best process for my direct material category, and the system is suggesting, yeah, you should follow this process model, right, for my direct material category. Now the co-pilot is asking what are the measures or what are the KPIs that are associated with the direct material category, and the system is automatically giving, yeah, you want to KPI, you want to know the measures or you want to know both, and then system is flashing up, yes, for my process, these are my KPIs and these are my industry benchmark, and if you are setting up your goals of the transformation, please leverage on the readily available industrial benchmarks as well when you are approaching your transformation. Right? So, end to end, it's an infinite loop that, there's a closed loop that we offer when you are approaching the process transformation. You start, measure, set the goals, and then start continuously monitoring the entire transformation objectives. So with that, I would like to really end my presentation, and just to give you a thought, we are here to talk about the productivity, we are here to solve the challenges, the real-time business challenges of each and every persona. It could be the category buyer, it could be the person who is creating the material, or it could be a supplier manager, or if you are approaching the transformation, right? And if you follow the SAP spend management and what we have come up with these internal benchmarks is that across the source to pay process, right from your analysis, the way you carry out sourcing, the way you process your invoice, the way you carry out your payments, or the way you manage your supplier, it all essentially drives down to great number of savings in terms of direct saving, in terms of productivity improvement, or in terms of, you spend less time, the more accurate analysis that you are getting, which otherwise is difficult with the manual intervention. And with that, I would really like to thank you. I'm sure there will be many more questions. We are there onto the booth. We are there. We have a spend management booth. We have Signavio booth also. So please feel free to join, ask as many questions as you want. And I'm here. Our team is here to answer all of them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. We would like to felicitate you, and to do so, I request Dr. Arnab Banerjee, Director, Supply Chain, AI, Smart Manufacturing, and AI Micron Technology, to please come upon the stage and felicitate. Yes, everyone, please give him a big round of applause.
Nothing can be better than this. Nothing can be better than this.